Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Let me get this. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to People in the Boxes, episode 13. It's Thursday night. Yes, okay. Thank you, crowd. We have a interesting show tonight, everybody. Let's see. Let's get to the comments. I know some people were wanting us to hurry up and start. Thank you, Charlene. No problem. What's up, Kayla? I sent you a link in your Facebook Messenger if you'd like to come up. Tonight we have a Mr. Steve-O in here as a guest. What's up, Steve-O? How you doing? I see that you're muted, but it's okay. We'll get the intro going here tonight.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I appreciate anyone muting themselves as they're, especially on this show, because it's, sometimes the extra noises and things like that can interfere with the topic. So, this is a loose, a fast and loose type of show, you guys, where I want other people to, or everybody really, to share their experience or their thoughts on a certain topic. Generally, something that we've all been at least had some experience with, or had thoughts on. Pin the link. I will do that. It's a good call.
Where's my lighter, Waylon?
I don't know. Let's
There it is.
Out here. Tonight, you guys, we are going to talk about. We are actually in National Bully Awareness Month, Bully Prevention Month. Let's see.
Bullies suck.
There we go. Yeah, bullies do suck. It's definitely a good topic to talk about. Hey, what's up, Felicia? What's up, everybody? We'll be up in just a few, getting kiddos. So, okay, yeah, no problem. I just got my son settled and everything. Let's get over here and pin that link. And feel free to share us out, guys. While we are not a strictly let's just hang out and smoke type show, I do put that disclaimer out. So, if you want to come up, feel free to have a smoke. We're not trying to do dab off competitions or anything like that. Maybe at the end, that could be fun. I don't see that link. Let's try it over here then. How about that? Yeah, last week's was a pretty good episode. I was very surprised at the type of turnout that we had. We drink here too. Yes, we can drink here too, Jenna. Just try to keep it coherent, at least until towards the end of the show. I need my mic over here. I'm stretching to try to talk to it. Okay, here we go. I tried to put experience up here. Share your experience, but it didn't work out. So how you doing, Steve-O? Pretty good?
Yeah.
Getting medicated over there? Good.
Yeah,
we're going to have... Oh, go ahead.
I just said working on it. That's all.
Oh, right. I know we're going to have a couple other people coming in here. Usually it's kind of a straggler type thing. I would like to get to the point where I get more people that are like here and ready to go when it starts, but that's beside the point. I know people will want to come up and talk about this. I have some good points to talk about on bullying, you guys. It's going to be a good episode. It's worth talking about. We got Miss Jenna in the pit back here in the backstage.
In the pit.
Is the pit better than backstage? Because backstage,
I like
kind of
better. I'm a groupie.
Yeah, it kind of entails. It kind of, leads to certain things.
Hi, Steve.
Hey,
Hi,
what's up, Jeremy? Do you ever get Felicia? They literally told me they would be here last week, but listen, that's no big deal. They had things going on. I did send them the link to see if they want to come in this week. We'll see. They may stop in. I don't know.
I missed the topic. Sorry, what's the topic?
The topic this week is bullying, you guys. This month is National Bully Prevention Month.
I have something to say on this because it
lots of stuff. Yeah,
my life.
I pulled up a lot of things. we can look at a lot of that, but we don't have to. I don't want to keep it too dry, so we'll look at some of it. But I did find some good sources for people to go check out. If they
Can
want
I tell you my opening bully statement?
a statement? Yes, we're not going to get into our stories until after some of the information. But go ahead. What do you mean by opening bully statement?
I got
Just got
no,
cock
okay,
blocked.
maybe this is like a girl thing, but I got bullied because I was the first girl in the class to have boobs, and I was
Okay,
friends
so-
because I live in a small town. Well, I lived in a small
What's
town.
up,
I
Lisa May?
grew up later to
Yeah,
realize
tag some
that
people.
that's why
Thanks,
they
Felicia.
picked on me. You know, bullying is like such a range of things where you thought it was like they hated you. It was actually because you had boobs.
Yeah,
What the
but
fuck?
really, a lot of times you get hated for being better at something or
But I
having
got
something
hated
that
on
some
because
other people don't
I
have.
had glasses. Like everyone
Okay.
gets hated on for everything. I had to
Yes.
pluck my son's unibrow last night because
That's
kids
different,
are
though.
bugging him for that.
Right.
A unibrow.
Teasing
Like,
someone is
you
different.
boys hit puberty and see where hair grows.
So this is why, okay, you're
When you
proving
look
some of my
good.
point here. So I
Sorry,
wanted to pull
Waylon.
up.
I don't mean
No,
to steal
no.
the show. I'll be quiet.
You didn't steal the show. You actually pointed out to me why I wanted to start where I wanted to start. A couple things I'm going to point out, but first, I think I want to thank Felicia and anyone who wants to tag anybody or also or come up on screen. I appreciate
Thanks for
any
tagging
tags.
out. Thanks for sharing. Steve-O, thanks for sharing. Thanks for tagging out.
What's I wonder what Samo's doing tonight. He did pop up last time. It was a good.
Samo Balano.
Oh yeah. I want to let everybody know that Jason, my usual co-host, is sick tonight. You guys, he's got a fever. So I'm hoping that he gets well.
He got
soon.
the vid. He got the vid.
No, he did not. He was already tested for that.
I say that to everyone, Waylon. As soon as anyone gets sick around anywhere, I'm like, you got the vid. Just because I'm funny like that.
All right, let me look for that first one.
Jenna.
All right, guys. October is National Bullying Prevention Month. A time to focus and raise awareness on bullying. During this month, many groups across the country will release new resources, campaigns, and efforts aimed at bringing awareness to the issue of bullying. Okay, this is on the youth.org or .gov website, and they have a whole bunch of good information here. Of course, I'm not going to read through it all, but I do want to at least define what it is we're talking about. And guys, yes, Felicia, Jason said he was sick. So I don't, I take everyone at their word. I have no reason to worry about it whether or not.
How are you, Saint?
He's a good guy, so hopefully he'll recover quickly. Okay, give me a second here, Jenna. I want to give the dry part the definition. Okay, what is bullying? And this is where your story kind of differs a little bit. So when you talk about bullying, it's not just being teased for some reason, like having glasses. That's not bullying. You weren't bullied. You were teased, or you were, So let me read this. Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-aged children. So bullying is a young adult thing. Adults, it becomes harassment, and assault and things. School-aged children, that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Behavior is repeated or has potential to be repeated over time. So I saw another definition on here. Actually, let's see. I know I pulled it up. I'm not going to put it on screen just because nobody wants to read that along with me. But here's the definition of it. A person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. He is a ranting, domineering bully. So
there we go. That's what it was, though. That's what it was. That was like intimidate. It wasn't like, oh, hit me or anything like that. It was intimidation. It was doing things on the sly. right?
In order to do something, in order to get you to either not sit here or not walk down this side of the path, or
Or
like they
not
want to
sit on the
control you
bus,
in some way.
or
Right.
not sit on the bus to go
Exactly.
home.
There's usually a power
Yeah.
imbalance, as in they want to get
Like they
some
sat at the
reaction
back
out
of
of
the
you.
bus and they slung the yogurt at the people in the front of the bus. That's bullying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. You've been busy, so you missed it.
Guess what happened
I don't know
when
if
I
I
sat
saw
at the
that or
back
not.
of the bus? Guess what what happened when my grade sat at the back of the bus?
Smoking.
I didn't smoke till I was fucking 19. I invited the kids to the back of the bus because everyone can sit together. That's who I am. I'm a butterfly. I bring people together.
Right.
So I didn't sling yogurt at the younger children. I didn't throw paper balls at the younger children. Right?
Well, okay.
You model the
So,
behavior you want.
I mean, but the bullying thing though is kind of more personal. Like, as far as somebody who just
with my kid, Waylon, I have a friend that has been like a longtime friend of his that he said is bullying him. I'm like, well, is he bullying you, or are you like playing around and he's more aggressive
frenemy.
than my son is? Like, is it bullying, or he's more of like a fighter type guy where my guy's like a heart guy, right?
So here's some
is it bullying?
examples. Bullying includes actions such as making threats, spreading rumors, attacking someone physically or verbally, and excluding someone from a group or on purpose. That's bullying. Okay,
That's
wow.
life. That's
Bullying
life.
can also, can also take place through technology known as cyberbullying. Examples of cyberbullying include meaning text messages or emails, rumors sent by email, or posted on social networking sites.
And I wrote it down. I was like, text between children. Like, look at your child's Discord. Look at their things, because my eyes was open. The other day, his friend of like however many years said, pussy ass, he's a pussy ass bitch. And I was like, I hope you don't fucking talk like that. Like, and I went back on their texts like of years and like, what did you say?
What's up, David?
A pussy ass bitch. Kids these days, they have too much room.
Right. So listen to this, though. This is what I was trying to get at. There are many other types of aggressive behavior that don't fit the definition of bullying. This does not mean that they are any less serious or require less attention than bullying. Rather, these behaviors require different prevention and response. So, yeah, that's what I want to get at.
What are the behaviors?
Well, let's look at them.
Please. I'm taking notes as a preschool teacher.
I want to cut through the BS. Give me a second. Early
intervention is key. Yes. Early childhood.
Helping young children get along with others.
Children, that's what I do.
Peer conflict. Teen dating violence.
Problem solving.
Hazing. Okay, so hazing is part of
hazing.
Like teasing.
Yeah, that's like hazing is like into like your child, like you're going into like junior high into high school. I hazed.
Guys, can we get a few likes? I love all of you, and a lot of you I see like every day. Can I get more than 2 likes?
We have to.
I'll like it myself. I'll start the ball rolling. Like I hate to like beg for likes, but
fucking StreamYard. Oh man, I've been so busy. I missed
and anybody that wants to come up and talk about this.
I really actually like to see your comments.
It makes me come up
what's up, Samo?
In a browser, so it won't let me do any likes or anything because I'm in a browser.
Felicia,
you can actually
really enjoy you.
Switch to Facebook while you leave that open. You'll just go to a black screen, and you could do it if you wanted to, but I'm not saying you need to. I'm not that desperate. I was just like, come on, guys. I know there's enough of us here that I know on a daily basis. Throw a brother a like. We have Miss Kayla. What's up, Kayla?
What's up, y'all?
Kayla!
So there's a few more points here, Jenna. Gang violence is another one that's not bullying. Harassment, which would be, Well, hold on. Let me read what it says. Although bullying and harassment sometimes overlap, not all bullying and harassment is harassment. Not all harassment is bullying.
That's what I'm saying. It's a very mixed thing. And that's why I said to my son, I was like, are you like playing him in a mixed fight? And he's like, oh, I'm going to come up and bully you, like being a word that I'm going to be like, come up and fight you. Like, what is the context of what's actually going on here? Is he bullying you or are you guys fighting together? Like, what is it? And he's more aggressive than you. Is that bullying to you?
What's up,
Because he's
Macy?
better or more aggressive than you? Like, what is bullying to a kid and what is bullying to me?
Well, that's why it said earlier. Oh no, that's Trent. Sorry, Trent. So Trent. That's why it says through adolescent childhood. Or did it say adolescent? It said something about middle-aged child. I forget what it said. I just said it. I just read it. I think I clicked on something and took it away from that page.
I had someone come into my preschool and tell me that a 3-year-old was a bully, and there's no way that a 3-year-old can be a bully.
Oh, school age, it said.
Well, okay, I was like, a 3-year-old hasn't learned how to work in a group situation. They can't be a bully. They need to be taught how to be in a group.
Right. That's why it said. That's why these other methods or other aggression methods are one was for early childhood.
With the
What's
mic.
that?
Is anybody else robotic?
Bullying can be done. Can be something being done to you.
No.
Don't want.
There's a real slight one in the background.
That's why I always tell my children, like, your words, if you are using that or you are doing that, like, you use your words and you tell that. If that friend can't reciprocate your word, that's not your problem. If you communicated your word, then that's my job to step in and tell that friend about the communication. Right?
Well, right, and that's what this says. That's why it's early childhood is one of them. And Kayla, if you want to come back, it's actually just Jenna's phone. If that's what you're hearing, because it's just a faint like a buzz in the background.
It's always been the buzz in the background. Yeah. I'll get my fucking computer.
So, Kayla, if you want to come back, you are welcome back. Where was I? Oh yeah, David. So David, I just read that basically what you say here, that's considered harassment. The bullying has to be done over time, I guess, or they're very similar. It's so crazy. Let me go back to that page.
I have to do so many things to come on my computer. Is that post pinned? Lost link. Yeah, lost link. Pin
link. Please. Should be up.
I'm going to leave so I can get back on here.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Hi, Kayla.
Hello, Steve.
How's it sound now?
Good.
Good.
So I do want to eventually, if I get to the point where more people want to be on than have space, I would probably start saying things like, you have to have headphones, or like try to bump it up a notch as far as that. But right now it's like, we got 7 more spots on the screen, so I'm not going to worry about it. But
am I coming through loud and clear?
Yeah, no, you sound fine.
And I'll normally mute myself. I normally try to be good about that. And
you sound fine too. It's just it's a definite. You can tell a difference when you have somebody has a pair of headphones. It's like just a different. But if I want to make a show where anybody in the audience can come up and share their experience, I'm going to have to be a little bit flexible on that. If they come up and it's garbled and none of us can understand, then I'm just going to have to say see you. But
yeah, the ones I got were 60% off, and they're only $15. That's all they cost.
Those are the ones. I think you got wireless ones, huh? Looks like Bluetooth.
Yeah, they're just earbuds, and they were like
to work real quick.
$40 or whatever. But everybody can. get a pair.
That's all right, Elisa May. I appreciate you. You are definitely here most of the time, so I'm not upset at all, and I'm not giving nothing away. So you are a-okay in my book. I thought about doing that maybe a little bit of giving away, but then you just get addicted to it, and more people you expect it, and then you end up getting sucked into it. So I'm going to try and stay away from it as long as possible. Trent says reactive abuse is bullying. So that's abuse, though. So Trent, when you're an adult, you're getting into more like harassment and assault. The bullying, that's why it says school-aged children. There's a fine line here between bullying and what we know of as, like I said, assault and stuff. And most of the time, let's see. Okay, here's another. I'm going to keep reading this list of aggressive acts that are not considered bullying, like harassment. Here's one. Although bullying and harassment, I just read this. Okay, not bullying, harassment. Under federal civil rights laws, harassment is unwelcome conduct based on a protected class, race, national origin, color, sex, age, disability, religion that is severe, pervasive, or persistent and creates a hostile environment. That sounds a lot like bullying to me, right?
Not really, no. I'm
hostile environment. I mean, severe.
bullying can be hostile, if it keeps on going,
So harassment's the next step above bullying, you think? Yeah.
I still see a difference, a little bit. Harassment gets bullying does get pretty serious too. You've had people take their lives over bullying. So it can be serious just as well as harassment.
What do you mean, Tiffany? You're in it right now. We are live now. Thank you. Bullies can commit assault. Right. So, like, it could have been a bully that started it all, but once he committed assault, then he is the one person is a victim, and the other person is, what do you call it? Would they be called a perpetrator? I don't know if that's anyway.
Yeah, because you can't be harassed right in the nose. So it's a little different.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What's the other one? Young adults and college students. Behaviors that are traditionally considered bullying. Can you guys hear that? I'm sorry. My son's playing with a Halloween phone.
Okay.
Traditionally considered bullying among school-aged youth often require new attention and strategies in youth, adults, and college students. Many of these behaviors are considered crimes under state and federal law and may trigger serious consequences after the age of 18. Oh, okay, so that's why they consider it because when you're under 18, you're not going to go to jail for harassment. You might end up in like a youth, facility, some kind of you could still be locked up, but it's not considered jail. I know someone that was. Jenna, do you need the thing? Did you get on your computer or what? Here, pasted it. There you go. Lisa says, that's why I always say in a world where you can be anything, just be kind. Yes, and I'm getting there, actually. I have some good stuff here coming up next. Hold that thought, everybody. Share, like, and subscribe. Send us stars so we can put together a better show for y'all and actually create an environment where we can learn good things every week. That's what I'm about, learning and growing. No pun intended. Growing food too, but okay. Where was I?
Kayla's making me hungry.
When? Oh, with that
yes.
plate.
she's sitting there mukbagging right in front of me. I'm starving right now. I'm like,
Oh, she's eating. Yeah, I wasn't really sorry. I'm not
I'm eating
looking.
my leftover crock pot rice and beans. It's really good.
oh,
Frog
that
pot.
sounds good.
You call it a frog pot?
No, crock pot.
Oh. um, let me look at. Okay, stalking. Stalking is repeated harassing or threatening behaviors such as following a person, damaging a person's property, or making harassing phone calls. So damaging someone's property is called stalking. Doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
What was the other
Stalking
one?
seems more of an emotional abuse, doesn't it, than a property
In control,
thing?
I would think it's control too. Stalking is
Sure.
where you're intentionally, going out of
Yeah.
your way to continually track that person's every
Mm-hmm.
move. It can get pretty
Yeah.
dangerous and scary. It can break into your
That's a
home.
form of control for sure.
No
No,
doubt.
She's stalking you still? Oh man, Trent, that sucks, man. Uh, so here's the next step. So, on this page, it still says how young adults can get help, and it has a whole list of things, and there's a whole bunch of different prevention hotlines and things like that. But here's some terms that I found that I thought we should maybe use. This was on the stopbullying.gov website. This they have something called bystanders. You guys all know what a bystander is, right? Someone
Sure.
who's standing by when something happens. But this is actually what they call it is a bystander to bullying. So I want to, I guess I could try and pull this up. I don't know how bad that's going to be for people to be trying to look at, but yeah, this is their website. They have all this cool information. We're not going to go through it all because we want to talk about some stories. I have a good story too. Jenna has her story, which she started to tell us, but I don't know where she went. Did your computer take a poop on you, Jenna? Anyway, so what they call it, bystanders to bullying. So almost anybody can be a bystander online, in real life, a stranger, and anybody. I mean, it lists off basically anyone. Um, Friends, students, peers, teachers, school staff, parents, coaches, and other youth serving adults can be bystanders. With cyberbullying, even standers or strangers can be bystanders. So that's where you see it and you don't do anything. Okay. And the next term that I thought was cool was they talk about how to become an upstander. Okay. I don't know how cool that term is, but where did it go? I know it's on here somewhere. Oh, an upstander. Yes. Here it is. An upstander is someone who takes action when they witness bullying. Even one person's support can make a big difference for someone who is being bullied. When youth who are bullied are defended and supported by their peers, they are less anxious and depressed than those who are not. So, but it goes on to talk about how being an upstander doesn't mean that you're like jumping in and like just taking a swing at the bully. It's more about tactfulness, ways to distract the bully, ways to maybe change their mind, um, get them laughing. There are other things you can do, especially if you're somebody who's sort of in between and you're not going to be in risk of getting attacked or something like that. Well, even if you are, though, if you want to, stand up for someone, that's your prerogative. But
Well, that was I was telling you earlier, if now's a good time to share that, Waylon, I got to the point, I had a little brother that let's say with special needs, and people would try to pick on him. And once I got larger, I tried to go that role of like being like this bully hunter type thing, and I come to find all it did was is it just got me more and more fights, got me more busted knuckles. Somebody else wanted to come after me, and then here comes another kid from another school now because I beat up his cousin, and it just caused more violence than it was ever worth. And
Hmm.
you know, that's not the way to go about it either, because violence begets violence.
Do you think if
You
somebody
know.
taught you how to, I mean, I
hmm
don't think you have to be a comedian necessarily, but how to defuse the situation a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we can read some of these here ways to become an upstander. Question the bully's behavior. Simple things like changing the subject or questioning the behavior can shift the focus. Like, do you really want to be doing this right now? Or, use humor to say something funny, redirect conversation. There's strength in numbers. Bystander can intervene as a group to show there are several people who don't agree. Okay, walk with the person who is the target of bullying to help diffuse potential bullying interactions. Reach out privately to check in with the person who was bullied to let them know you do not agree with it and that you care. It makes a difference. Be someone's hero. Video in English. Okay, no, we're not gonna watch that. But yeah,
Well,
those are some.
Waylon, we made it uncool in my school to treat somebody bad. We flipped
There
the
you go.
script.
Hmm.
I mean, my little brother, having, you know, two brothers that played everything, and we were cool. So it was like we were able to very easily turn that tide of being, if you're an asshole to somebody, we don't want to be around you. And it soon turned out that the people who just always had to be negative, and even if they weren't bullying, but just had to be negative, they were a small group instead of the majority.
Hmm. Yeah, just like the curmudgeons. Like Elisa May is saying, educate your kids on the situation and is a good start. Well, and she said before that she worries about her nonverbal autistic son getting bullied, and I worry about the same thing with my son. He's not nonverbal, but he isn't necessarily doesn't pick up on being insulted right away, and
Mm.
um, I feel like that at some point it's going to happen, and I think to our kids' benefit, we could maybe you find another parent who's teaching their kids how to be an upstander, how to be someone to help those in need, and not necessarily a bully hunter, like you said, Steve-O. And that's really the old school way. And I do want to bring that up too. We're going to talk about the old school, how what happened in school, what happened with bullies, and then how things are different now. I mean, you got a
hmm
lot more psychological bullying now. Um, I bet you there's still assaults happening and still physical things happening, but I guarantee you it's way more psychological now. You know,
Yeah, I
like
was talking about the 80s,
oh, for sure, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring up for sure. Verbal abuse is billing or bullying, etc. Yeah, there's a lot of verbal bullying, and because once you get into a lot of physical stuff, then you're just being assaulted. But they say under 18, it's still bullying because it can't be, tried for that or anything. Gaslighting, that'd be bullying, yeah, for sure. Trying to torment you, that kind of thing.
I
Um,
think gaslighting is the most common form of bullying for adults.
yeah, because
What
it can't be
what
considered harassment.
what did you have to say? What does your research there say?
Well, it's not considered harassment. I don't see gaslighting anywhere on any of these because it's not a term used for under 18.
Mm.
Um, maybe it is. That's interesting. Encourage kids to do what they love. No, yeah, I don't see anything. I mean, I have like 12 tabs open and I didn't see anything about gaslighting. Uh, It's
Wow.
interesting twist though, because that could be included, I think,
I
because
hear
it's
more
sort of.
about that than anything among adults these days that I see.
Well, let's check it out. Look it up real quick, guys. Smoke them if you got them.
Oh,
Check it
cheers,
out.
everybody.
Cheers,
Smoke break,
cheers,
Kayla.
cheers. Let's see. Gas in relation.
Kayla got quiet. And when the only woman
She's
in a room
muted.
is when they're quiet, you gotta worry, Barrel. That's all I'm
Well, and
saying.
then Jenna left. Jenna got on her, supposed to be switching computers. Didn't come back.
I observed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what scares me, right? See, and when they say shit like that, I observe. Man,
I wrote
I ain't
down
trying to
everything.
fuck with you. I'm not trying to fuck with you, Kayla. That's all I'm saying. Take it easy on me.
No, you're good. I'm a very observant woman. And I'm trying,
Okay.
I feel like also before I tell my stories, I kind of am taking in what he's saying about it to see how it relates to me, my stories, and what I can take from it, because I felt like I've dealt with it. I felt like I've been on different sides of all of this stuff. So I'm just trying to see what makes sense to
Uh-huh.
me if it's
Sure.
really what I've dealt with.
Yeah, she
And
says I'm just listening. I'm waiting for you guys to mess up once. That's what it
right,
is.
and then come in and correct you. So I did find a lot of articles here on gaslighting and in relation to bullying. Gaslighting is a subtle form of workplace bullying. It's a manipulating power game which individuals or groups of individuals play within the workplace. Yeah, see, that's definitely bullying.
Gaslighting bullies out. Mm.
Yep. Um, wonder if Charlene is still here. Are you still here, Charlene? I don't have a way to check that. That's okay. So let me pull this back down. Yeah, so gaslighting definitely, I don't know if Trent's still here, but gaslighting is bullying. And gaslighting to me is just a form of mind games, torture, verbal abuse. Let's
Yeah.
see. Yeah,
That's good
being
that you point out that it's not always physical, because when you think of bully, you always think about the big kid pushing the little kid around in the
the
schoolyard.
stereotype, yeah, the stereotypical
Yeah.
bully. Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So the the well, before I go into my story, the prevention methods. I think I did explain some upstander things. Yep, I did that. See additional resources,
Check these
some
comments.
videos to watch. We should look at how to prevent. Encourage kids to speak to a trusted adult if they're bullied or see the others being bullied. So that means don't just stand by and watch it. Adults can give comfort, support, and advice even if they can't solve the problem directly. Encourage a child to report bullying if it happens. Talk about how to stand up to kids who bully. Give tips like using humor and saying stop directly and confidently. Talk about what to do if those actions don't work, like walking away. I don't know if walking away is going to always work, but that's one possibility, I guess. Talk about strategies for staying safe, such as staying near adults or groups of other kids. So walking away could work in the cyber way. You could walk away from that group of people. Like, say, if you're on social media, yeah, maybe you can't because all your friends are in that group or something, but there are ways to, and we see it as adults, you can walk away from this group or that group and, okay, I don't have to deal with that problem as much anymore, right?
Hmm.
So you urge them to help kids who are bullied by showing kindness or getting help. Okay. Keep communication lines open, talking about bullying. So just sort of bringing it up, maybe not necessarily bugging them about, hey, are you bullied, or hey, have you ever seen, like, not questioning them, or like grilling them on it, but maybe just kind of bringing it up. Oh man, I was kind of bullied at work today or something. Maybe that could be one sort of method to bring it up tactfully, right? As Trent say, the fear of starting over is a huge deal for a lot. Yeah, for the walk away method, yeah, I agree. Starting over, you have to. Sometimes the bully is more well liked in a group of your peers. Sometimes the bully isn't always that. Like Steve-O, we're talking about the textbook '80s bully. Usually that was an outsider in the school, the big sort of dumb ogre type guy that was scary, and nobody liked him because they thought he was mean, and so then he becomes mean. That whole story that's been done a million times. But it's not always like the jock too. Remember that? Well, that's another stereotype. The popular jock kid. They can be the bully. So
Well, what do you
comes from
think the
everywhere.
movie Shrek is about? It's also about him being stereotyped as a bully, but
Hmm.
the big lovable guy.
Right. Yep. Yep. You can
He's
also
got,
you could change the heart of a bully too. And I think a lot of times bullies are made because
yes.
of an abusive relationship with their parents, or somewhere at the home, somewhere down
Hmm.
the line, something has happened. A lot of kids, like Jenna was getting to, she must have jumped somewhere else. She was talking about, uh, what was I just going to say? Oh, I forgot. Anyway,
It's the
about,
kids. The kids.
about the, home life, like making sure they're not having troubles at home and stuff like that. I think there was another point, but lost it. Jenna started her own live. That
Did
girl,
she?
man.
Oh,
That's all right, man. It's like,
I was waiting for her to come on back, man.
said she was. Like, I don't know, this whole streamer thing. I can't. I got to remember. I got to keep it light, and just like roll with the punches. Like anytime people show support or pretend to show support, and then it rings hollow. I'm not saying her specifically. I just mean, like, she said, "Hey, I'll be right back," and then she just dips on me. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's like it happens. Seems like it happens every day with somebody. So it's a thing. I'm not gonna feel bullied. Jenna bullied me tonight, you guys.
Uh,
No, I'm kidding. Um, it's so funny, but she's been drinking too, so she probably forgot. What was I doing again?
yeah.
I think like definitely it can kind of spiral. You said something, or I think it said on the live is it definitely comes from a situation where they might not be in control, or they've gotten hurt, and that is like their protective layer where
Mhm.
they can go and be in control and in power, so
It
can
is
hurt you.
about controlling something. Yeah,
Yeah.
having some kind of
And
semblance
it's
of
sad
control.
because that means, that they really need somebody to be there for them. And it can continue on to where they can be a mean person later on in life.
Oh, that's what she was saying. She was saying that you don't start off as a bully. You are taught that, or I would venture to say it's not necessarily that you're always taught to be a bully. Sometimes parents enable you to be a bully by not stopping those behaviors, or not seeing those uh, signs that my kid's going to be cruel, or my kid wants to, you know, lord over other kids, or whatever it is. Like, you're responsible. What is it? I think it was Jordan Peterson that was saying how, like, you're responsible for turning your children into someone that you wouldn't mind being around. Like, it's not that you have
Yeah.
to make your kid be liked by everyone, but it's your kid, so you have to you want to be around the kid. You want to turn him into, or them into, someone that you wouldn't mind. But all right, Trent, have a
Yeah.
good night, brother. Thanks, man.
See you,
Thanks for
Trent.
stopping in. Valerie, hi, Val. Yeah. Val might have something to say on the subject. We'll see. Yeah, bye, Trent. So for me, I was not really bullied much as I got through like middle school. But when I was like, I don't know, I had to be like 7, 5 or 6 or 7. In my neighborhood, we had this older kid that would try and get younger kids like me to fight each other. And I remember this one winter, I'll never forget it. And I don't remember really what the circumstances surrounding it. I just remember that he had this other kid attack me, and this kid was like 12, not the kid attacking me, but the kid like going around messing with, kids in the neighborhood and basically bullying us. He has this other kid attack me, and I just remember being shoved into the snow, like choking me in the and there's like a foot of snow. I just remember like being engulfed in the snow and like not being able to breathe. I think at some point he pulled him off of me, but it's like that's the same kid. I remember his name even, but he had done this a lot of times in the neighborhood to other kids. Actually, I think there was one other time when I was a little older, a few years older, that a friend of mine and I were threatened by this guy, the same guy. Of course, he was still older than us. So just kind of a bully through and through. Who knows? Just got back from the ER. You got pneumonia, Val. Oh no. Not my number one, Miss Val.
Prayers, lady.
Prayers going out to Miss Val, everybody. Everybody's getting sick. Jason just got sick. You're sick. Stoney was sick. By the way, guys, if you have Clapper, I usually go live on Clapper most days to chill because Mr. Stoney got banned from Facebook. I should have sent him a message. He could be on Facebook right now on StreamYard. It would be funny, but I don't think he's too worried about it. We could get around the system, Stoney. Where you at?
I think he gets on under Jeffrey, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yep. But he can't get on here. I would have to. Wonder if his messenger works. I don't think it does. I wonder if I could send it to him in Clapper Messenger. Anyway.
Boy, they'd love him on here, wouldn't they?
Well, he gets on here sometimes. He used to get on here when I was doing before I got banned.
I was
anyway.
on with him for 3 hours today.
Oh yeah, on Clapper?
Yeah, I had lunch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't get over there. I did a Facebook Live today. I should have done one today, but I was trying to, get a little bit of hype up for the show tonight, which wasn't. It's so weird how if I tell somebody, yeah, I did a whole episode on postpartum depression, people would laugh. People laugh like, oh, really? And then you find out that I had triple the participation on that episode than I did on a episode about bullying. So weird. But
yeah,
it is Bully Prevention Month, so it's a good time
I was
to do
telling my boys tonight that I was getting ready to be on this live, and that last week what the topic was and what it was this week, and they kind of looked at me like I was silly, but they've been listening the whole time, so evidently they've been interested.
Well, it's not about I don't want to be too dry about these subjects. It's about really getting down to the nitty gritty and using the real, the everyday terms we use for some of this shit, not just let's talk scientifically about it all. It's more about the feeling about these topics. It's more about our perception of them. And then we all give our own separate angle or story about the topic. And then we sort of end up changing our perception as a whole, because your viewpoint becomes wider about a topic when you see what everybody else's position is on it.
You also learn things you didn't know before.
Yeah, I have every episode. Every episode I've done, I've learned something that I didn't know. and I've literally changed my way about a lot of things. We did a whole episode on like friendly bugs and like what kind of spiders are bad, like that you want to kill, and which ones don't you want to kill, and now like I see them as my friends. Like, you know, like if I see them around on my plants outside, I'm like, oh hey, what's up, buddies? Giant orb weaver, like big old thing, like, oh, do your thing, I'll leave you alone. You know, like take out those bugs for me. Like every episode, there's an episode about cannabis or about pets that we did. That we, in part of it, we talked about cannabis in relation to pets, and you know, I've changed my whole outlook on that. Every single episode, I've learned something. So
I remember talking about it.
Live that whole time, Waylon. So you could live the whole time.
Kayla was at, or she was asking just a second ago if you were okay, Kayla, and we both asked you the same thing.
If
You're
I'm
so
okay?
quiet.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm here. I'm chilling.
No, she heard what I had said earlier and like listened, which is unusual for a lot of people that I try to get up here. Like I told her, I didn't tell you directly, Kayla, but I was like, you know, it might be best to just mute yourself in between if you have background noise. And, you know, you guys, it's only 3 of us, so it's no big deal. But we had 10 people on the screen last week. That was actually not bad, even though, and that's because a lot of people were muting themselves and keeping quiet in between and being respectful of each other who's talking. And that's what I like to see too. What's up, Jimmy Me? Yeah, spiders are awesome. I agree.
I'm surprised Michael didn't show up tonight, actually.
Yeah, there's probably another live going on somewhere.
Yeah, I think there's a few lives and some waffles going on.
Yeah, I know. Listen, when I might get the chance to get free things or have the chance to sit around and just watch people get goofy stoned, I guess those are better things anyway. So who wants to talk about bully prevention? You know, who cares about that? I guess.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm being a little sarcastic, you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate your guys' support and everybody that's watching. Look, I mean, we got 11 people hanging out right now. You guys are some of my core audience, some of my core friends that know I'm trying to do something a little bit more so than just the average hangout. And I don't want to make it dry. I don't want to make it too boring. That's why, you know, we're chilling, we're smoking, all that shit. What's up, Jake? Anybody who is just coming in, if you guys want to pop up and talk about any stories you have, we've talked about a lot of the dry stuff, all of the information about bullying, but if you guys have a bully story, come up and talk about it. I want to hear about it because we want to see some real perspective and hear some real experiences. Christy says, hey, I'm here listening. I'm just cutting these damn stickers to get them out to Sam finally. Oh, okay.
I'll share too, like my few different experiences with what I think or
doing.
Sure, that'd be great.
Good,
Kayla.
So when I was younger, I felt like I was bullied. I will tell people that I was bullied. I grew up in the foster care system. So at a young age, being bounced around from home to home, different schools, trying to, along with my sister, trying to, you know, visit my mom, stuff. I didn't get like the learning basics. Like you would take maybe multiplication and then go to addition, subtraction, whatever. I didn't take all that stuff. I was so wrapped up with what was going on in my at-home situation that I was not focusing in school. And so I got put into special classes. So when I was in special classes, I was getting made fun of a lot. You know, I was getting made fun of by the small town jocks and sports kids and stuff like that. And I finally in 5th grade, 5th through 8th, I found my own crowd. We were kind of weirdos, but we were kind of badass bitches, and we just kind of did our own thing, you know, and that was my little group. And we protected one another. We made sure to stand up for each other. And I forgot. So I started in eighth, near ending in eighth and ninth. I started becoming semi-popular. Like I kind of went through a different change. And I started doing sports, and I was really great at sports. So those kids then wanted to be like friends with me. I did not become friends with them. I was just like, you guys used to pick on me. You guys pick on people. Like, that's not the kind of people I want to hang out with. Like, I've got my own group of friends that have been by my side. And I've started sticking up for people that they were picking on. And I just, I was like, we're not going to have this. And it was really cool. Well, and I was just like, I was just like, karma's going to take care of these mean people later. Like, my thing is, the creator God does not like people being ugly at all,
Amen.
judging, being mean at all. So I was like, they'll, karma will get them later. And it really has. Like, I've watched some of them be so good and get scholarships and turn around, and now they're on the streets homeless using drugs. I mean, it's sad to think about, but at the same time, I'm just like, I pray for them too. So that was like how I was bullied. I did do some picking on people too when I was super, super young, and that actually got me and my sister kicked off the bus for 2 months. And so that was a no bueno, I was like, and it wasn't even, my sister was trying to teach me to stick up for myself. Give me 1 second. Go ahead and continue. I'll be back.
Justin Lot with the 99. It says sent. It's funny. 99 stars sent, but with SENT. It threw me off for a second. 99
Keep them
cent.
coming.
It's spelled a little weird. But yeah, thanks, Justin. Come on up, man. Come up and share your experience, bro. Redbeard, what's up, bro? Come and hang out. Thanks a lot,
Waylon,
Justin.
I still have like issues, even though I tried to stick up for kids. Even though some of the people throughout my life that when I was younger and more spry, believe me, I would try the things that I did when I was young now. But, you know, I feel terrible. And, I have, dreams sometimes of some of the looks on some of these poor guys' faces when they realize that all they did was open their mouth and, you know, it wasn't worth it for me to be that way. And I wonder if a lot of bullies out there that were bullies that never got bullied, I wonder if they feel the same way, if they're tormented by it. Is there any ex-bullies on here maybe that might want to share about that?
Joe was commenting earlier. He said he was a bully in school. I'm thinking now. I remember a situation where I did bully somebody, but the person I bullied was kind of talking trash anyway. I wasn't saving anybody or anything like that, but I just remember sort of teasing him. I didn't bully, so I guess it wasn't a bully. It was just the one incident. But I was teasing him on the way back from lunch, and I just remember this one vivid incident where I forget what I did was I think I was pointing at him or something, and he grabbed me he sort of attacked me. He grabbed me over my head to where I was sort of bent forward, and he grabbed over my neck and head and sort of pushed me towards the lockers. Well, I picked him all the way up and slammed him on the ground, and he got up and said, "What the fuck?" And then at this point, teachers were walking out, and I was already walking down the hall, and he got in trouble for yelling out, obscenities and things. So I don't know that I'd call that a bully incident, but I do remember that I was instigating it. So it's definitely.
Well, you could hurt someone badly, It isn't even the punch in the face, it's them hitting the ground or bouncing off a desk. I picked a guy up in high school one time, flipped him upside down, kind of a situation like you were in. And when he hit the ground, I heard his head hit, and I literally remember putting my hands over my ears like it would matter. But I stood there like this because
Right.
I thought I killed this kid or something. And yeah, that'll teach you a lesson, you know.
Redbeard, that's okay, man. Jenna was on here, and I don't know what's going on, but she was supposed to come back up, and then she just left and went live somewhere else.
Mhm.
Maybe her computer wasn't working or something. But she is self conscious about it. But every time I get her up on here, she like there's like a staticky echo with her phone. So her laptop might not be working right or something. That's why she didn't come back. Who knows? But I do appreciate her coming up. She did tell her a little bit of her story.
Mhm.
Redbeard
Appreciate you,
said,
Jenna.
Redbeard says, I made peace with a couple of kids I was a little mean to in school. Not really bullied, but just treated them less than. Yeah. And you know what's really hard?
Good for
And
you, man.
this might be hard to say, and maybe I'll get some pushback on this, but if you're a parent and you're sending your kid to school and he is the stinky kid, he's the dirty kid all the time, and maybe then not every kid can be, kept clean. Some kids, especially special needs, are going to be the type that may not.
They
Uh,
refuse. Yeah.
right. So, but that's not my point. My point is in general. Like I remember a few kids that they weren't special needs.
Mhm.
They were just, like it's really hard to want to go stick up for that kid if he just reeks, you know. But you don't know why, you don't know all sorts of things. But
Right.
as a kid, as another kid, how do you do that? Well, it can be done still. It's just what I'm getting to is that maybe as a parent, try to check your kids, try to see, is my kid looking gnarly? Like, is he wearing bad, like crappy clothes? Like, not necessarily is he not wearing the best top of the line stuff or the
Right.
most popular things, but is he looking all jacked up? Like my parents would. Maybe they just didn't have the money, but I couldn't get my hair cut as often as I would have liked. So I'd be going all self conscious with my hair all crazy, or they would buy like garage sale clothes if they didn't have enough money and things like that, and I'd be wearing clothes that maybe wouldn't fit me right. And all those sort of things are factors in a kid's confidence levels. Not whether you get bullied, but when you're going around and your confidence is already taken a hit for different reasons, it can be easier to get picked on because you look like the easy target, right?
Yeah, but the stinky kid could be living in his car. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So how do you reconcile that as a kid? Maybe parents could teach their kids, hey, if you have that kid in class who's a stinky kid or whatever, maybe don't judge them too harshly because you don't know what's going on. Like maybe us as parents can help to educate our kids a little bit about, hey, even teach
Maybe
them about the what's that
ask them, like,
exactly.
you could educate your child, like, because they have like food drives. Families donate stuff all the time to lower income families. You could be like, hey, I noticed maybe, you might need a new pair of shoes. Is there some things that you need going on at home? Because kids are more likely to talk to kids than they are adults, to be honest. You know what I mean? And you could, so teach your child, if somebody doesn't have something, to be humble, to be kind, put yourself in that person's shoes.
Well,
Uh,
Yeah,
my wife has a degree in early childhood development, and she's told me that especially younger kids in middle school, they don't have the ability in the frontal lobes of their brains to understand empathy for someone else. I mean, you could say to them, "Hey, don't say that about him. You don't understand what he's going through," and they just
oh,
don't
yeah.
register. They don't. They just don't register empathy in their brains. It's up to the parents to teach them empathy so that they learn it And that's the key, to learn it from the parents as early as possible. Just like Kayla was saying, to have kids talk to other kids, but they have to be taught that empathy first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would also though I always try to look at both sides of the coin, and the coin of empathy. I would make sure to teach kids like, hey, if it seems like if you're talking to some kid, you're asking them questions like this, and it's making it worse, and they're getting angry, or they really, maybe
Hmm.
back off a bit. Don't just be all about the what do you call it? The superhero to every person all day long. Like there is an extent where that becomes annoying too.
Yeah.
But maybe that, like Kayla was talking about earlier, being observant,
Or
sitting
you could,
back.
and
What's
you
up,
don't even
Ray?
have to donate. You could just, you can see if they want to talk to you, because sometimes that's just the first step. Like you said initially at the beginning, is having that support, having somebody notice that you're going through a hard time, that people are picking on you. It can make a big difference just having one person in your corner when everybody else is targeting you or against you.
Amen to
Yep.
that.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. Someone's self confidence can directly be linked to them allowing themselves to be in those situations, like, and that can be linked to things at home, finance, or whatever. But what I'm thinking is too, it could also be linked to the kid not taking care of themselves as much. If they're getting picked on at
Right.
school, then maybe they start to care less about their appearance, and then they go down in this sort of a spiral of self negativity, and that's where you find a lot of kids who have committed suicide because of bullying. I had a kid in my school, I believe it was middle school, that jumped in front of a train because of because he was just in a really bad place. I don't know how else to put it, but depression, all sorts of things. But this was middle school. Pretty sure that he was bullied too. So, oh, we got some feedback from Jimmy on bullying. He says, I was a bully in high school, but I bullied the jock bullies who picked on my buddies. I was bullied in grade school and part junior high when I was the smallest kid in class, but between 7th and 8th grade, I grew. Yeah, no
Hmm.
pun intended. You grew
Yeah.
like an oak tree over there. Redbeard out says, I was walking by the grade school and fell on a curb, twisted my ankle and shit. Some of the 5th grade class outside laughed. As an adult, I wanted to beat their parents, parents' ears uh, in there. So yeah, that's right
Uh,
there.
Yeah. There's definitely, I think, like difference in like bloopers, and one thing, sometimes people laugh when people get hurt, and that's not like always like a picking. You said like the teasing, the harassment, bullying, verbal, cyber. It all kind of wraps into the same, but don't always. I feel like a bully too. So like I was finishing saying earlier, I did pick on a girl for a little while too on the bus. And that was just a no go for me. Like I apologized. I was pulling her hair, just being mean for God knows whatever reason. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, what am I thinking I'm doing? That's annoying. That's pest. Like I'm going out of my way, and that's wrong. And then that's when, I turned it around. Um, I feel like sometimes I see bullying, like especially in like some chatting stuff or social network, cyber stuff. It definitely, and I try my best to ignore that. And what I do is
But then you're a
I try to
bystander and
stick
you're
up
not an
for that
upstander.
person. No, that's what I'm getting to. Like I try to kind of stick up for that person, and I'll be like, well, things are gonna turn around. Like I turn it around. I'll be like, well, I'm sorry that you're going through this right now, because everybody may be ragging on that one person. And I'll be like, no, it's okay. Like things are gonna turn around for this person. Like you guys should put yourself in their shoes. I try to kind of simmer down that situation and sometimes do turn it around, you know, because
Get out of here, Jimmy. Have a
I'm
good
just
one.
like, what is this? You know, what is this other person going through? I don't know. I really don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Sometimes I can say something, and I don't always directly say it to the person. You know, I say it like draw the attention away from that negative situation, turn it into a positive is more my thing. Because I work with special needs people. So when they're having like behaviors or negative moments or not, so that I try to quickly turn it around and distract.
Diffuse it, yeah.
Yeah, that's more my approach. But then the other thing that I was going to say, dealing with it I just dealt with it so my sons have picked on one another in school, which I told my son he wasn't going to be a bully to his siblings or to anybody else. It's like, you guys need to learn how to stand up for one another. Their first day in school together, since they're only shy of 13 months apart, he embarrassed his little brother in front of the whole gym and was picking on him. And they both got called and sent home. Both my ex and I got called and sent home and stuff. And I was like, you're not about to be a bully. And I kind of went over things with him, you know, and I was like, you definitely don't pick on your siblings or ever do that to your siblings. You guys are together, supposed to stand up for one another. That's what my sister taught me at a young age. And so, but I did deal with it with my other son, my youngest, and it actually was recent, just maybe a few months ago. And what it was is there was a couple of incidents where he was coming home. It was his first time in daycare, and I was pretty nervous about it. They had cameras. I looked up reviews. You know, they were getting him in. Seemed like a great place, and they were telling me that he was going to go to a 4th grade class. I said, great. Well, the 4th grade teacher quit, that age range quit. So he got put in with the younger kids. But there was this big kid, like maybe, I want to say 2 times his size, bigger than him. And he was, of course, pretty big because he's going to the younger grade. So a couple of incidences, I witnessed this kid as I'm doing drop off, come pick on my kid. Like, I witnessed it. I'm like, okay, come on, Tobias, like, let's go. We're leaving. I'm here to pick you up. Like, you know, and I asked Tobias, I'm like, how's school going? You know, who's that kid? Are you making any friends? You know, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, that kid's not so nice. You know, I was like, okay, well, you know, tell your teachers or tell me, let me know. And so maybe like the 3rd day in, I go and pick him up again. And I'm standing there. And I literally watched this kid run all the way across this playground and trip himself up to go pick on my kid. Like, my child was riding a bike around a little circle, and this kid came over, and my child could have gotten hurt. That child could have gotten hurt, you know? And so I brought it up to the teacher, and she was wanting to argue. Of course, she was playing on her phone as the other teachers were not paying attention to the children. So I was getting pretty furious. I was like, well, you know, I'm paying my money. I'm not getting any state assistance for my child to be watched and taken care of in a controlled environment. You know, this is targeting to me. To me, this is bullying. And so they're like, we're going to handle this situation. You know, we're going to rewatch the cameras. I'm like, this is not just the one incident now. This is like 2, 3, maybe even more now, because I don't know, because, you know, I'm not here watching. And so after they did that, they decided that the daycare, my son was good. It was best to kick my son out of the daycare. And they were like, you're an unacceptable mother for calling a child a bully. And I was like, you know what? I marched out. Like, I was
Bully's not a bad word. It's a description.
I said, when I see somebody target or go out of their way to attack another person, no matter whether it be physical, verbal, or you know, that to me is a bully. I was like, what if he's not just doing it to my child? What if he's doing it to other children and you guys aren't stopping that? So I was like, if this is the kind of daycare you want to raise and have, then that's fine. So it's not the best place for me and my child. And
Can't hear me, Valerie?
But that's something I deal with now as a mother, you know? And I'm just like, it does kind of worry me for when he goes to school, because now he's not that excited and he's only supposed to be going to pre-K. So he's like, I don't want other kids to be mean to me. And I'm like, you're going to be okay, buddy. You know, and he has a little bit of an eye issue too. So he's getting new to glasses and a different face and not feeling himself.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you. Yeah, no, I hear that, and that can be tough at an early age for sure. I just want to get back to a couple of these bigger comments. Lisa May said she was a bully. What an asshole I was, she said. I was a bully before when I didn't want to be at school. I started a fight with this girl for no reason, just so I would get kicked out, and then I stole her boyfriend. I didn't even like him. What an asshole I was. That's funny. Michael said he shot his kid with a Nerf gun tonight. It's more powerful than I thought. It hurt him, and he cried. Does that make me a bully? No, smart ass. You don't want to soak the Nerf gun in. I don't know what would burn. Let's see. What would be a bad thing to soak it in? I don't know. Let's not think about that. Yeah, he cussed you out. Well, he could be a bully for the cussing you out, actually. You can hear, bro. Thanks, Dave. I'll hear Steve-O back. That's all right. Steve-O, if you ever want me to, man, I can pull you all out back to the backstage, and you can still be in, and then I could pull you back up. Like I could do this, and then you're still there. You're just.
Cheers, y'all. Oh, you're there. You're not there.
He left that time. I didn't do that. Anyway, cheers. Oh, Val. Val, you're just messing with me like Jay does on Clapper. He tells me that my sign's backwards and that my sound isn't working, and I let anybody that I know from Facebook who comes over to watch me on Clapper, they get to be my moderators in the Clapper chat, moderating all the lurkers. It's fun. Yeah. So, I don't know, guys. Let's have a smoke. I don't know if there's anything else really to talk about on this. There's a whole bunch of good prevention hotlines and websites to go to that you can get help on if you think that you can't handle the situation with your capabilities, whatever that may be. But if you're an adult, though, I mean, oh yeah, I did want to talk about that actually. So it says that the definition basically is school-aged kids, right? And we talked about how the adult side is more harassment and assaults and legal terms, but you can still be bullied because the fact that you're not going to waste your time to file police reports and try and sue someone if they're just doing some light bullying. That's just sort of like a nagging everyday little slight thing, right? Like your boss or or somebody that you don't like at work. And so I want to give you guys a little story of what happened with me. I'll give you the little abridged version. I worked for this hospital, and I moved around to different departments, but I ended up in the shipping area for all their supplies to all these different hospitals. Anyway, the management there didn't seem to like me because I had too many good ideas. They literally accused me of running an underground coup. It was the weirdest thing I've ever been accused of, and it's because they had this little this Weasley dude that they hired, and he was like telling them all this stuff, anything he heard from us talking about stuff. And it was the only job I ever worked at where my whole shift was sat down with HR, the HR department, and talked to them about the management. Like the management wasn't present. Have you ever had that happen, Steve-O? Like where you got to talk, like basically a bitch session about your management with your entire crew?
I did.
You've had that happen? Like that's to me,
I
that's
was
insane.
sensory. Recently, I quit. I was like, "Get your shit together, y'all are killing my vibe, peace." But finish your story.
So we had this complaint session, and of course they're not gonna just go and fire the management. Anyway, so they get this kid to they're gonna promote him, of course, over me. This new kid doesn't know all that much, but he's a yes man. And he was bugging the crap out of me. We were always butting heads because people would still come to me over him for all sorts of things. And anyway, this one time he was approaching me, and this is how you do it, guys. You got somebody bugging the shit out of you at work in front of everyone. We're in a warehouse full of people, and I started yelling as he approached me. I said, "You're approaching me. You're making me feel unsafe. You are approaching me. Please do not approach." I forget what else I said though. I was just like, you are, you're getting too close. You're making me feel unsafe. And so then, but what does that do though? Was it kind of funny?
Warning.
Well, but it does a lot more than that, because what happens is, so all those people there at that place, first of all, they knew I wasn't intimidated by this guy. And maybe I said that too. You're intimidating me. He's like this little guy, but the point is though that creates an incident, and that incident then becomes evidence, or becomes a paper trail, or evidence on like in a future incident. If that guy gets close to me and ticks me off enough that I end up having to touch him, which I don't do, but if I end up having to get into a fight with this guy because I was coming to the point where I was, butting heads with him that much, I thought, well, this at least creates an incident where HR can see that I was being harassed or being pressured by this person.
Yeah.
And so I thought that's better. That's a better way to diffuse the situation than to start yelling back at this person and get triggered. And I talked to on my live earlier, and Trent brought it up that like the triggers, like where sometimes people are bullying you, quote, to trigger you to have a bigger response and explode and do something out of anger back at them, because then guess what? Oh, then they're justified. Oh, look, he hit me. Now I can pound him, right? Or whatever it is. Like, not all bullies will do things that are outright direct and obvious, that you can say, oh, look, he's doing something wrong, and then point out to somebody. They're going to do little sneaky, conniving things like online, like the cyberbullying, where they can make fake accounts and they can get their friends to come and bully you. They can, and we earlier this week, I think I was talking to somebody about these banter pages. A lot of them, they talk about how they want to roast. Oh, we're going to roast you. We're going to roast each other, right? But they go way, way beyond that. They go definitely into the bullying and harassment and stuff. They might roast you, but then they'll go to your page and be looking up your friends and family and then roast them too, and harass them to the point where you have to shut down your Facebook page and stuff like this. And so people have to be careful. They think it's all fun and games when they're, quote, roasting somebody, but then it just gets insane. These banter pages, like Jenna's on a few of them, and it's like they'll ruin your whole life if you let them. It's because they have nothing better to do.
There ain't no laws when Jenna's on her claws.
All right, Steve-O, hit that bong again.
Definitely. I don't know. There's a time for fun and games, and roasting people, and then there's just you're pushing it too far, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you're supposed to be a comedian, you would have been on stage a long time ago. I would have been watching you up there with Jeff Foxworthy and all that.
Red Skeleton.
Like,
yeah. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up here. Most of us, I think, got in our stories and our our thoughts. I did have a bit of a bullying incident in the military. In the military, it's tough because you can't just walk away. You can't say I quit. I'm leaving. You know. And in the military, if you fight somebody, if somebody starts attacking you, doesn't matter if they started it. If you get caught fighting, even if you were being attacked, you both get the book thrown at you. You both get hauled off. And when I was in basic training, yeah, I butted heads with some people. I was teased for different things. Like I'm a little bit over talkative at times, and I'm a weird. I have a lot of weird questions. I come up into groups and sometimes I'm joking. Actually, most of the time I have very dry humor. You guys, some of you may notice. And I'll walk up into a group, bro, and I'll just say some off the wall shit, and people will think I'm either serious, and then there might be a couple people in that group that will get it and start laughing, whatever it is. Val, you know me well enough.
Yeah, I got a question. When you were in, do they have this thing now where it doesn't matter your rank, but you can call somebody out now and go have this thing, and it's a fight house, and now you guys could take a chance at beating each other up, no matter if you're an E1 or they're a sergeant. You can call them out now.
They're allowed to fight.
Yeah, everybody gets watches it.
I've not heard about this.
It's the fighting champion things. Yeah, they do it now. You would have probably loved that. You'd been like, why wasn't that there? Because I would have loved to kick their butt.
All I know is that the Navy recruitment commercial is more about gender and color and what type of sex you're into than it is about finding capable young adults to fight for us.
Right.
Yeah, that's literally what the commercial is about.
Cool. I think if
fighting.
Being able to call somebody out, if you're gonna give me shit,
they bare knuckle. What is this?
I don't know.
No, we pretty much do the same thing UFC does, but it's a referee there. Pretty much whoever's in charge of combatants or the combatants in COS. They either give you the 4-ounce boxing gloves or the 8 ounces, and they're like, okay, you guys go at it, go spar it out.
Do they let grappling? Is it grappling allowed, or is it mostly just let's
grappling? If you go down and they get on top and beat your ass, then hey, you got your ass whooped. But
yeah,
right.
I think he got close to going out, and the guy chickened. I was like, "What are you guys doing? What?" And then they all told me about it. I was like, "Oh dear Lord, what is this?"
So in basic training, I don't think they would have allowed that.
No, it wasn't in basic.
In basic training, I was under 18, so technically, I was still within the bully zone or whatever. But in my in basic, this kid who didn't like me, and I was I can crack some jokes and maybe that pisses him off. So one day we were out and doing field training, and he hit me with the butt stock of his weapon in the face, the helmet and face area. Didn't leave any marks or anything. And I didn't do anything back. I looked up at him and was like, "Oh, is that what you got?" Because if I was to haul off and start fighting him, boom, we would have both gotten thrown in jail. So there's other ways to do things. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of times it's looking for that reaction, not necessarily.
Oh, yeah, no, my knuckles are so nice because I don't fight. I am always like, oh no. We're going to turn your little grumpy butt into a little ray of sunshine. That's my way.
Toughen up those knuckles, girl. Start punching some concrete or whatever.
It's huge, and it's got a good protective layer around it.
Just just like Charlie Sheen, you need to dip them in glue, and then dip them in chocolate sprinkles, and then you dip them in never mind. It was a movie reference.
I thought we're not being violent here.
You're right. Right.
I have a Grinch suit, and I'll just rub myself in some
Yeah,
ice and
but
keep it cool.
but having hardened knuckles doesn't mean you need to be violent. It means that you can also block with your knuckles too.
It means that probably all my skin's tough. That's why I don't have to be violent or get negative back.
Gummy bears. That's what it was,
All
Michael.
right.
Yeah. It was it was Hot Shots Part Duh. Anyway.
All right, guys. Maybe
All
I'll
right, I'm gonna get going.
live.
All right, Kayla.
Bye.
Thanks for
Pleasure being
sharing
here.
your experience. Appreciate everybody that came out. Steve-O, thanks for coming up, man. You and Kayla saved the day. Otherwise, I'd have been up here talking by myself while all my other friends just came and went. But I appreciate everybody that watched, though. You guys, viewers, you guys have been awesome. The audience has been awesome on this show. I think the feedback I've been getting privately has been helping me to keep moving on because sometimes there are times when I think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But it helps me personally because I'm learning something every time. Like I said, I always try to learn something each episode. And if you guys are doing the same thing, let me know. I appreciate it. It's awesome that we can all just have an open conversation about something. Thanks, Valerie. I love you too. Appreciate it. I love all you guys. Look, this community is my core group of friends, but as I continue building shows, and I have a couple other shows in the works now, it's going to get big enough that, I can't just keep a personal relationship with each person. And at that point, all of you guys are going to be like I'll remember everybody that's around at this time. We'll leave it at that. But I'm going to keep plugging away, and hopefully it turns into something. I've only been doing this since June, maybe I should just continue to remind myself that and just calm down and yeah, keep it going. I'll tease you guys a little bit. Next Tuesday, I think I'm going to do it on Tuesdays. I'm going to go to different businesses. I was going to do it with just strictly grow shops, but I think I'm going to do it with canna-friendly businesses. I'm going to do a review and walkthrough on canna-friendly businesses. So, grow shops are going to be a big one. Of course, head shops, other venues and event centers and things like that. So it should be good just to sort of highlight places that are doing what they can as a business to end the stigma and to get Cider on. David, Cider, he's not. It's harder he came on last week and he couldn't hold it in. He had to leave because he was on a show talking about postpartum depression. So he would be good for certain topics for sure. But we joked about it, but he's like, he can't be serious and talk about those things. Like, not that we had to be serious, but somewhat. I mean, we did have some real conversation,
Sure.
In a world where you can be anything, be kind. That's right. That's right, Elisa May. Being kinder is better. That boy gives me depression.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, Steve-O. I'll smoke one more with you, and we'll call this a night. Get my son to bed. He's probably sleeping already.
You're a good guy, Willie, the indoor farmer.
Thanks, man. I'm actually real close to getting my next project going downstairs with a bigger grow table. I have to make some decisions on how I'm going to do it, though.
Oh, yes. Cheers.
Elisa May, tell Joe that I think I'm going to do a hybrid system. I keep thinking about combining aeroponics and aquaponics, and I have an idea of how to do it without having clogs in the system, so we'll see. But yeah, next week, though, I'm going to call it can of friendly biz review or something like that. I'm not sure how I'm gonna call it, what I'm gonna call it yet, but I'm working on it. And I think the answer, I want to do more shows because, for one, that show is going to be double duty. I think I might start traveling around the state to go hang out and go meet up with people such as yourself and have a sesh or whatever, but also go to the local grow shop and go to the local whatever, the head shop and stuff, and do walkthroughs and stuff, and then make it a dual purpose trip. And also probably pick something up while I'm there, if I need to buy something for my grow. So make it worth my trip. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. It's been a great episode. Steve-O, have a great night. Where's my
You too, bro.
outro?
I'll go see what other kind of trouble I can get into.
Yeah, no, we'll go find out what Jenna's doing. She might be wild over there. Guys, let me know if you think of any topic ideas. I am always interested in anybody's opinions on what the next week's topic could be. Peace out, Val. Where's my outro here? All right.
Bye,
Steve-O,
Val.
take it easy, brother.
Okay.